Today we have the 50th review on this channel and I'm very excited about that. That's why I have something special. Hi there, Spectre here and welcome to the 50th review here on Spectre Aviation. I'm excited about this milestone. Finally here, number 50. And that's why we are not taking a look at a 1 to 500 scale aircraft, but at a 1 to 200 scale aircraft, which is the KLM Cityhopper Embraer E190, made by Herpa Wings. This was my very first 1 to 200 scale aircraft model, which I bought back in the day when I was doing my internship at KLM Cityhopper's maintenance. But without further ado, let's start at the front of this aircraft model, where we can see the cockpit windows are printed on. Also very nicely detailed. Above the cockpit windows we have the last two letters of the registration code, which in this case are X-ray Delta. We have the window wipers included, and we see some very small printed details, which are the pitot tubes. Then when we take a look underneath the aircraft, we can take a look at the nose gear. Here at the nose gear doors we have some nice printed details, for example the last three letters of the registration code and some numbers, which I think is an internal registration code number, and we have a red line. And I must say the nose gear actually looks really good. Then moving on to the side of the fuselage, we can see the writing of KLM Cityhopper. And next to the first passenger door we have a small SkyTeam logo, which we then again also see next to the cockpit windows. And underneath the cockpit windows we can see the Air France KLM branding, which these days is actually the old Air France KLM branding. By now they have a new logo. Also a very nice advantage of the 1 to 200 scale aircraft are more printed details, but also more physical details. For example these antennae here on the top of the fuselage and also here at the bottom. This is a really cool addition. Now we can move on to the engines, which have been kept in all white, just like the belly of the fuselage, and is a nice contrast to the otherwise blue fuselage. And we can also see the KLM branding, and we have some small markings warning for jet blast. And here we can also see the silver leading edge, and when we look into the engines we can see the engine fan blades. And also here at the front we can see a very nice detail has been added as well, which are the landing lights. I wish this was a detail more common in 1 to 500 scale as well. Then we can also take a look at the back side of the engines, which are also very nicely detailed, and also the main landing gear really looks good if you ask me. Then we can move on to the wings, or more specifically the top side of the wings, where we can find some more nice details. For example we have the different flaps, slats, spoilers and ailerons carved out. We have the markings for the emergency exits, and we have the markings as to where you can walk on the wing. Then when we move on to the underside of the wings we can see the different flaps, slats and ailerons once more. And we have the full registration code of the aircraft. And the Embraer E190 also has winglets, which have been kept in white, just like the belly of the fuselage and the vertical stabilizer of the aircraft. And they carry the KLM branding both on the outside and on the inside. Then we can take a look at the back side of the aircraft, with on the vertical stabilizer the iconic KLM branding. On the fuselage next to the last passenger door we have the aircraft type specification. Then further on the fuselage we have the full registration code of the aircraft, the Dutch flag and the European flag. And on top of the fuselage we have some more antennae. Then here at the rear we have another very important detail of an aircraft, which is the APU exhaust, which has been detailed quite nicely here if you ask me. And here we can also see on the horizontal stabilizer some more details, namely the markings where you can walk on these wings. And then last but not least, on the other side of the aircraft we can see the doors to the cargo holds here at the back and also here at the front. Alright, so that's it for this Embraer E190 of KLM Cityhopper, made by Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 200. And I must say, this is a very good model. There's loads of printed details, there are some additional physical details which have been carried out quite nice, and overall it's a real beauty. And as you can already see, this model also comes included with a stand, which is normal for Herpa in the 1 to 200 range, but not in the 1 to 500 range. So it's nice to see that we at least get that with 1 to 200. So yes, I would say that this model is worth it. However, it has been sold out at most stores, and it might go for a higher price on the internet, but I'm not sure. You would have to look on eBay for that. Also, one downside for me personally is that this model is made of plastic. And honestly, I would prefer metal, but as this was my first 1 to 200 scale model, I didn't really care as long as it looked good and it was an aircraft I was working with, so I didn't really care. But you would have to decide for yourself whether you would prefer metal or plastic. Alright, so that's it for my 50th review here on Spectre Aviation. If you liked it, you can show that by leaving a like down below, that would be appreciated. And if you like what you see, you might consider subscribing. There will be more in the future in 1 to 500 scale and maybe even in 1 to 200 scale. I have more of those as well. And if you have any suggestions for future reviews in 1 to 500 scale or have any questions, you can leave it in the comments below. Alright, so that's it for the 50th time. I thank you very much for watching. This is Spectre signing off, and I hope to see you next time in episode 51.